Alrighty, let's try this again. Let's try launching the game again. Is it gonna crash? I don't know. Hey, get the fuck off my desk. You fucking. We're not fucking eating. Oh, I sprayed my fucking food. He's going for my food. Damn it. That water is old as shit. Probably got a million fucking things of bacteria in it. Stop. Get off the desk. Literally just sprayed the hell out of my cat. Like, fucking. Like it's a water fight. My channel. What are we at? 335 followers. That's not bad. Message requests. This cat is like on my shoulder right now. Can't be on the desk, and he knows it. He knows he's gonna get his ass sprayed if he gets on. Oh, dude, my cat hates water. About the only thing I can listen to is just EDM, bro. Unless I want to listen to like some classical music. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna go, library. Actually, let me go to the home. Because don't I have, like, Angry Baby Radio? Yeah, here it is. Oh, install. Now I can craft my morphines. Hand over. I got the best thing ever, and I doubt anybody even knows how much of a fat ass I am. But, dude, you get Popeye sandwiches, and then you get blackened ranch on the side, and then you put the blackened ranch on the sandwich, bro. Fucking peak. I don't know why they don't offer it as just like a casual ingredient. EVL and squash? I can take that because I'm just gonna put back in Arya in here. I don't give a fuck about that. Need the owl. Apple juice. Hey, it's a 5-hour. Perfect. Man, that shit is so good. What's up, Mr. Dumbside? How you doing? I'm just now seeing your messages because the thing, I had to refresh it. PS5, dude, honestly, you're so young that, like, you can't even conceive the idea of, like, the OG, like, Xbox 360, GTA San Andreas, Xbox 360, GTA 4. Because I forget, you're like way younger than me. Dude, I feel old as shit. Why are you coming in here making me feel old as shit? This shit is so gas, though. You don't have Popeyes over there in the UK, I know, or not UK, sorry, in Europe. Oh, just dropped this shit on my desk. Closest thing to Popeyes that y'all got is KFC, which is like, I guess. I think KFC's way better over there than it is in America. But, man, there's shooting going on. I don't want to eat my fucking food, bro. My cat. Dude, honestly, cats are like the biblical amounts of greed that we heard about in the Bible. Okay. I probably could have killed this guy, but I was fighting my cat. Oh, so my kit was kind of cheeks. I'm not gonna lie to you. My other sandwich. Oh my god. What the fuck is this? Oh. God damn. The fuck is all this shit?
Hello.
What's going on in here?
Don't ever say that, dude.
What?
There's so many cool things going on in here, dude. We got like at least 3 bitches putting out at all times.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you're
Yes,
full of
sir.
shit.
Yeah, and come and a little piss. What of it?
Fucking dude.
Just a little piss. You just went to the bathroom. Gotta, build it back
I
up.
went a little bit ago.
Yeah.
A little bit ago.
Yeah, your girlfriend stomped on your balls, and all the piss stored in the balls came out.
I had an 80-pound Asian woman actually come and step on my nuts. Thank you very much.
Yeah, isn't your girlfriend like an 80-pound Asian woman?
No.
Fuck,
I've
dude.
never been with an Asian chick, actually.
No? That's actually funny.
I live in Indiana, dude. How many Asian bitches do you think are rocking around here, dude?
I live in Ohio. You think that there's many here either?
Yeah, but at least you don't have as many Amish as us, dude. We got the Amish.
That's
and they're ruining
bullshit.
the gene pool, dude. The Amish people are a scourge on the nation and should be terminated.
No, I think you're talking about the... I can't say that. I'm live. Anyways.
The jihadists?
No, the other J word.
Jerusalem?
Yeah, that's close enough.
Cool, man. That's so cool. I got my Incineram to kindling level 4. So that's pretty neat.
Intense cold. Oh, I'm losing.
You need your pelt armor on, dude. You better lock in, Miles.
Yep, I put it on, dude. I put it on. Hopefully I make it over here. I should. Oh, stamina. Oh, that was a fast travel.
Seed mine. Bubble blast. What do my pals know right now? What does this guy know? Seed machine gun. Air blade. 80, 200, 160. This is 120. Yeah, we're gonna teach this motherfucker seed mine.
Oh, I made it. I barely had enough stamina to get up the rock.
This motherfucker knows some slammer ass moves, dude. Okay, so I need to craft a cooler real quick. Did I not ever, like... I guess I never researched that.
Civilization researcher.
One second.
Oh,
Cooler.
there's a boss battle right here. That's why.
Cooler box is storage. Okay.
Alright, cool.
Storage. Yeah, right here.
No.
Okay.
You know how fat I am?
How fat is you, man?
Oh, I'm extremely fat, dude. I'm taking blackened ranch and pouring it on my sandwich for Popeyes. Tell them no mayo, and then you know, get 2 chicken sandwiches and some blackened ranch. It's like $10. Fucking fire. Like 1,000 calories.
Hey, Popeye.
That shit is delicious.
Schematic from this bitch.
Anybody who doesn't like blackened ranch must just be extremely white. So shit's so
I've
good.
Never had Popeyes.
Oh my god, you're very white.
Very white because I've never had Popeyes.
Yeah. Yeah, you ain't
Maybe say some
melanated.
things.
You ain't melanated.
Melanated. I am melanated. I'm a melanated king, dude.
No, you're
I'm
not.
an Israelite.
Oh, great. Oh, jeez. With that being said,
Digito's fucking. Digito's fucking spinning, dude.
Why is
Working
he
on the-
spinning?
Is he working on the furnace or something?
Hmm.
Or what?
No, he's like, I think he's glitched out or something. He's like supposed to. He's the only thing he can do is mine.
by the way, Mr. Dumpside, I was reading through your message while eating, while talking. So, sorry. That's crazy, bro. I started playing GTA like, man, I'm just old, bro. I'm unk.
Fence.
Ooh.
And if I
Like that.
shoot it at an enemy, it'll hurt them.
What's this up?
And then I got this fucker right here, dude. The little stick, dude. The little fucking blick. Tear your nipples right
blicky.
off.
Out of curiosity, when you plan on hopping on some Tark?
Oh, I told Miles in like, give me like 10 more minutes and I will. If you want to run a scav or something, like, then I'll probably be done by then.
I already ran my scav.
Oh, God bless.
I run factory, dude. It's like 5 minutes in and out. Get my scav rep up.
Yeah, 5 minutes in and out because you die.
No, because I kill PMCs.
Killing no PMCs, man.
Hell yeah, I am. I've died 5 times and killed 3 PMCs so far on this wiped account. I've just been recently starting to do my scavs. I've done 25 raids as a scav. Or sorry, 30 raids as a scav. I killed one PMC who was thick as fuck, dude. I don't know how I like penned his rice tea helmet because I was not using the right ammo to do that.
Probably got the throat hitbox. That's how I usually die. That's how I usually die if I'm wearing a Reese tier in Alton.
I mean, yeah, that's
if
valid.
you hit them, since they changed it a couple wipes ago, if you get shot in the thorax, in the bullet fragments, depends on what ammo they're using, but if the bullet fragments and bounces around, it will go to your throat hitbox on occasion and just instantly kill you.
Hmm.
It's kind of bullshit.
I mean, it's realistic though.
That's why.
I mean, did you not
That's
see
why
what happened
you-
when Charlie Kirk got hit in the chest with that explosive in his mic, and then it blew out his neck? I mean, that sounds about right.
Yeah, dude, that's real and true. Actually, thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
We need to teach people like Miles about that, dude. Because Miles, he doesn't believe in Charlie Kirk, dude.
Bro was killed by his own people. Actually, Palantir specifically makes the technology to do that.
It'd be your own people, dude.
True, it
Black
really
people
do.
had it right.
That's crazy.
They had it right, dude. It'd be your own people, man.
I mean, yeah, it do be your own people. It's actually funny because I've been like watching the like trial and case right now, and like they do not have any evidence on the shooter for Charlie Kirk at all. Like their evidence is edited and manipulated video, which is like funny because I thought that when I saw that video, I'm like, oh, that's like an edited version, but there's probably a real version out there. I never thought much of it when it happened, but now that it's like in court, there is not an original footage. Because the judge pressed the prosecution about it, so the judge might wind up dead next.
How cool would that be in Minecraft?
I mean, honestly, I just really hope that I just really hope that like we get. I don't even know. I don't even know what our next election is even going to look like. I really hope that America pulls its head out.
Elections soon, dude.
Well, yeah, because our fucking current president wants to be president forever, and he fucking can't even wipe his own ass.
It's not a Trump. It's not a Trump problem, dude.
No, it's
not a. It's everybody. It's the littler fish, dude. I swear to God, it is. It's the senators who are in there for life.
Yep.
The people in the House of Representatives who are in there for fucking life.
Yep.
It has
no.
nothing to do with the president.
No.
90% of the time.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about in general. Like, we literally just had a senator die in seat, bro. Bro was pro-life and died. Like, what a fucking pussy. Like, bro, stick to your guns.
Pro-life is a great choice if we're going to make birth control universally available to women.
Yeah, but it's
and
not.
Without a prescription. It is. It is now.
Well, it's not universally available.
In the States, I mean, I don't, we're not responsible for other countries, of course. I mean, in the States, but
well, it's not available here. Not my state. My state tried to ban fucking
dude.
birth control and shit.
It's available everywhere. It's a federal thing now. You don't need a prescription for like the oral birth control, like the pill and shit. You can get the shot without a prescription. You go to a pharmacy and they'll give you the shot. You just have to pay like $20 to like Walmart or wherever you go.
I'm gonna fact check this
for my girlfriend.
I'm gonna fact check this because I do not believe this for. I do not believe this for a second.
Fucking Meyer, dude. Ever since Roe v. Wade got overturned and women lost the ability to get an abortion, there had to be a counter swing to that pendulum, and that's why they made O-pill and certain hormone-free birth control options accessible without a prescription, whereas before you needed a prescription.
The only over-the-counter that exists, you have obviously condoms, spermicides, emergency contraception like morning after pills, oh, this must have just came out.
Like I said, it happened when Roe v. Wade got overturned. So like a year or two ago?
That was literally like a year ago. Dude, time is like passing so fast yet slow at the same time.
That's why I didn't have honestly my ex at the time, dude, she went to like protests and was like going to a couple riots even. And I was like, dude, it's not that big a deal.
No, it's a big deal.
Like,
because because it's a slippery slope. Because here's the thing: the moment they start telling women what they can't do, then they're gonna just start telling all of us what we can't do. It starts with minorities, and then it works its way up, right? So, like, women are a minority technically because we're picking on one specific group, even though, whatever, you get what I mean, right? Like, in this case, instead of affecting everybody, we're affecting a specific group and saying that they can't do this thing. And then this is what happens. Like, I don't know if you're well aware of the quote by a famous Nazi sympathizer, but he said, first they came for the communists. I wasn't communist, so I didn't care. Then they came for the Jews. Well, I'm not a Jew, so nobody cared. Then they came for the I forget who it was next, but they came for somebody else. I wasn't that person, so I didn't care. And then they finally came for me, and there was nobody left. Because I'm the last person. That's what it is. They're going to start by going after minority groups like Hispanics, blacks, etc. Then they go after people like women as well to try and strip their rights. And then after they have complete control over the women, which is obviously a repopulating class, right? And once they have complete control over minority groups, then they're gonna push it in the next phase, and the next phase, and the next phase. They're trying to push for like a alt-right fucking Christian bullshit ass fucking. I don't even know.
I don't think it's all that though. Is the thing?
It is. And if you don't see it, then you're missing the point of everything that all the politicians have been doing for the past like decade now. I mean, it's been really bad. The separation of church and state doesn't exist. There are literally schools in fucking places like Texas that force the children to be sitting there rehearsing Bible verses. The Bible should not be in my school. My school should teach me how to read, write, do math, learn science, and learn the history of the world. I should not sit there and have my child, whether I, like, let's say I'm Muslim. Why the fuck is my child sitting there learning the Bible? And what if my child is like me, who is more, I guess, what is it, agnostic or whatever, where you're like, oh yeah, there's a higher power, but it ain't the Christian God, right? Like, I just believe in higher power.
Well,
Somebody like me, I would fucking be furious if I was to sit there and be forced to sit there and go through fucking Bible verses and be shoveled that shit down my throat. If I had a child,
brother.
I would be pissed if my child was shoveled that shit down their throat. Like, that is what separation of church and state was about. And now we have the church and the state together, and the churches are getting more powerful. The Christian faith is getting more powerful in America. Like, I literally have people at my work that believe, wholeheartedly dead ass, they believe that America was to be free. When I say free, when they said freedom of religion, it was to be freedom of the type of Christian you prefer to be, not freedom of religion, which is not how it's written at all. It would say freedom to be Christian.
Brother, you gotta slow down. All I was saying is that I don't think it's so cut and dry. I can appreciate that this is like a hot button issue for you, but I don't appreciate you shitting all over Christianity, because it does happen to be my preferred religion. You don't have to agree with it.
And that's great. You can keep it in your corner and in your space, just like gay people keep their shit in their space, unless of course there's those fucking weirdos and those people. But no, they do. Most of them do. You hear the loud 0.1% or 1%. You never see the silent 99. I mean, the silent 99 do not cause you problems. By a man deciding to fuck another man in the ass does not hurt you. You don't all of a sudden have a pain in your fucking stomach all of a sudden when that happens down the street around the corner. Right? You don't have that problem. The problem you have is with the people who are way too aggressive about it, and those people are wrong. It's just like MAGA people when they push their Christian agenda. It is wrong. You stick in your fucking lane. That's what God's words were written as, and that's what the fucking Constitution was written as. Like, we stick in our lanes, we do our things. The gay people and LGBTQ people that shove this shit down people's throats is not correct. But I have a lot of friends who are bisexual. I had a friend who decided to be trans, decided it wasn't for him, and that's fine. And I agreed. I'm against like the whole trans thing personally. Like, I don't like it, but I will be respectful because that is my friend I grew up with. But like, when it comes to these people, like, they don't affect me negatively. They have never affected anybody negatively. My one friend, he just is like, yeah, man, I love ass. And I'm like, that's crazy. And like, we have a gaff about it, and that's it. He's not over here shoveling down everybody's throat to love sucking dick. Nobody fucking does that. The only people that do that is that just absurdly obnoxious, loud 1% majority, while the silent 99 suffer by their idiocracy. Right? Like, that is what the whole, like, gay, trans, all that shit, it's because of the loud people, right? Same thing with, like, the being Republican. I'm conservative, but I don't like the MAGA, loud Republican side that is so obnoxious, because they are a minority that has gained power, and that's all they are. They should never have gained power. They do not speak for, like, 90% of conservatives in America. They speak for a small percentage of these alt-right, some of them Christian extremists, some of them racial extremists, some of that, like, they just speak to these extremists, and then they feed on that anger and that hatred, and that's all they fucking do. Like, I hate it.
You gotta slow down, man. Like, I understand it's a hot button issue for you. Like, that's okay. I'm not like being condescending when I say this, but like, you don't gotta get so passionate about it. You know what I mean? Like, we're just conversing.
No, but the problem is the biggest problem I have is every single time it comes to, like...
Oh, Matt.
Hey, Dave.
What?
Do you have Battlefield 6?
Not installed.
Will you install it? Because I installed it, so we can all play.
Yo, Shits, why is the PAL Expedition Station so fucking huge?
I don't know, man.
Because I want to place it so I can put this PAL in here, because she ups the work about 20%.
Yeah, we need that so we can upgrade the base too.
Well,
I don't know why it's so large if it is. I have no fucking clue.
Try to place it, but it goes from one door to the next, man.
What is it in infrastructure? Where is it?
I get so fucking heated about Christianity because I have dealt with the negative edge of Christianity for so long.
Drop. Try to you fucking place that. 'Cause
Oh, I see.
you see, it's bigger than our base.
No, I think it's just a terrain issue. Oh yeah.
Get the
we
fuck
can't
off my
access that
fucking
door, but
backpack.
that's kind of fine.
Okay, I was like, we're gonna have to get rid of one of these.
No, but I
That is
get
okay.
my heat and hatred comes from the fact that when I went to school and people would preach about like the teachings of Jesus and inclusivity and, you know, and appreciating people regardless of who they are and like, you know, feeding and giving
Put
to
it
the
there.
poor and doing these things. All these people that would preach these things would then turn around and just completely ignore everything that they would preach. And I am very much
The
against
upgrader
that.
too.
Well, brother, in the
I'm
same regard,
all for religion and having religion, and that's cool because for some people I mean it's hard to come to terms with the fact that when you die there's nothing. It's hard to come to terms with the fact and maybe it's not a fact. I could be completely wrong. We don't know, right? But to
well, brother,
me,
you gotta let me get a word in too. I'm just trying to say that it's like in the same regard as what you were just saying a second ago, with the issue, you know, and the things that you pointed out being that it was a minority of a general population or a subsection of individuals, right, that was taking the spotlight because of the actions or the political stances that they're taking. You can't, you know, just because you had a poor experience, you know, I'm not discounting your experience, but just because your understanding and your experiences have been poor regarding, you know, a certain thing doesn't mean that, you know, that everybody who does this or every school that introduces a Christian teaching style, or not even just a teaching style, but just, you know, it informs students that the Bible exists. When I was in school, dude, we had a choice. Your parents had to go out of their way to sign you up for Bible class. They had to fill out pieces of paper, and that's how it is in every school that I've seen.
and
I know I've only
that's
lived
how
in
it
2
should be.
states.
And that's how it should be
But what I'm
because
saying, it's always been a you have to opt into it. It doesn't cost anything. But when I was a kid, dude, I went to Bible class, and it wasn't until high school, but I went and I had to learn about the Muslim faith. I learned about the Hindu faith. I learned about the Buddhist faith. I learned about the fucking Sharia law and the Quran and all that shit, dude. Like, because if I was going to be so firm in how I feel about Christianity, then I needed to inform myself on the teachings of the other religious books, because I wanted to figure out which one I jived with the most.
But the problem is that it's not about, oh, I get a choice anymore. It's now, hey, you're going to learn Christianity whether you like it or not. And that's like the problem. And that's the problem. That's literally what the fucking Crusades was about. Was literally indoctrination in the youth and teaching the youth. Like, here's the thing, right? Like, there's the argument of, oh, well, like LGBT stuff shouldn't be in classrooms. I agree. It shouldn't. It should not be a thing until kids are in high school. I should not see that shit in middle schools. I should not see that in elementary schools. I should not see Christianity in middle schools. I should not see it in elementary schools. We get to high school, I think it's fair game, because at that point the kids should have enough of a cognizant, like, understanding of the world and what their parents have taught and whatnot, that they can be exposed to those other things. But until then, like, I don't think that those things should be in schools, period. That was literally, like, the whole point that I make, is I don't think that, I just don't think that that should be a thing. I think that schools should be there to teach us the basics, and once you get into high school is when you start to get kind of useless, so sure, pile on the useless shit, fine. Like, let me learn all these different religions, let me learn all these different, you know, ways of life and things like that for other people. Like, that's fine, you know? It's just...
I think it does need to be a fairly foundational thing, because, and it's not about one religion's place over another. If you want to take an approach, right, where you're teaching all of the religions for an equal amount of time, and you're doing it at a young age, I think that is way more advantageous than waiting till high school, because most of these foundational principles take a lifetime to understand. As somebody who is religious, I can tell you wholeheartedly that my religious stance, my interpretation, and my understanding, and you have to remember too, like, religion does a whole lot for somebody's soul if they choose to go that route. You know what I mean? And I don't mean just like after. I'm not talking about like after they die. What I'm saying is like it does a lot for their ability to self-motivate. It does a lot for their ability
can I have that
to be a
toss, please?
self-starter and get things done on time.
Hello?
It also does a lot for their purpose and their sense of self.
Thank you, bro.
It is a foundational thing. Whatever one you decide to
I got
follow
some for you.
it doesn't matter. But what matters is it is the foundational thing that has a lot of good effects, which is why it's in schools and why it's being taught. I was always given the choice. I'm not speaking for your experience and saying that you were given a choice or whatever. I'm just saying I've never read or seen of any instance where it was non-negotiable.
It is non-negotiable. It's getting to that point.
I'm sure all of it, but getting to that point, it's not there yet, is my point.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you a question. Do you find like places like Iran and all that like Islamic extremists? Yes or no?
Honestly, dude, if you want my wholehearted answer, it's gonna sound like I'm dodging the question. I'm truthfully not. I don't give a shit, man. Like, it doesn't affect me. In my world, particularly, and this isn't me making the question about myself, but in my world, dude, I've got so many things that I need to focus on in just like in terms of my health and managing my conditions and getting my medication and having access to these and like insurance and doctors and shit, dude. Like, I don't have time to worry about Iran. I don't have time to worry about Iran, and it's not very relevant for me.
I mean, the war in Iran is very relevant. It's why everything's so fucking expensive all of a sudden. But I mean, besides the point, my point is But if there was even a remote ideological factor where you're like, okay, Iran is a Islamic extremist state, it's like, okay, cool. What makes them that? Okay, and then you start to break down what makes them that.
It's Sharia law, probably.
But then what do those laws have underneath them? And then you look at like, okay, what is America starting to do with Christianity? Ignore the fact that it's Islam. Just look at it in the sense of, okay, what is happening between what makes radical Islam and what would radical Christianity? We actually know what radical Christianity looks like. It happens in the world right now in Africa, actually. There's a whole tribe of like these radical Christian Africans that literally went around killing all of the non-Christian Africans that happened in the 80s and 90s, and they still exist today, just not to the degree they did, because, I mean, I think pretty quickly people were like, yo, what the fuck? Because they don't want their religion to look like that, right? So, of course, that got stomped down quite a bit, but it still exists.
I think, if you want my honest opinion, I think that your view on why America is in Iran or having beef with Iran, whatever you want to call it, the war in general.
The war is over crybaby tendencies of our president, and there's no other reason to be there. I mean, we have never had a reason to be there.
Crybaby tendencies. It's the same reason we were in Iraq and Afghanistan, man.
Which was what? To instill a government that's just going to fight back against us over and over and over again? That's exactly what we've done.
That. No. If you would quit interjecting, what I'm trying to say is that it's about, if you look historically, right? Ever since America's foundation, right? Once we got to the point as a country where we stopped expanding, so our borders are somewhat permanent, and B, we got to a point where we were self-established and capable of defending more than just our own borders. What it turned into is America stepping up when necessary to take a self-diagnosed position of making sure that there aren't people or a population or a subsection or a cultural group that's getting stepped on in a different area. It's about the preservation of freedom and basic human rights as outlined in the Constitution. Not the Bible, the Constitution.
So here's the thing. Those basic human rights in America already are getting trampled on. We do not need to go to other countries. It should be America first, like our fucking president said to begin with. America first. Period. We're not doing that. we are saying America's fine and everybody else is the problem when we are not fine. We have a lot of issues right now, and that's a whole separate like not debate that we can have, but like just based on what you just said, you're saying that based against our constitution, there should be freedoms of all people, right? All right, cool. Well, right now, people's freedoms are getting stomped on in America as is, and there is already a problem, right? We need to look at ourselves before we look elsewhere. Like, already.
What I was saying is not that America is fine. What I'm saying is that there is a population that exists. Unfortunately, I will say this. Unfortunately, it does boil down, in my opinion, to an issue of this religious view versus this religious view. Is it necessarily Christian? No, it isn't. It could be Jewish. It could be anything. I would say it probably is Jewish. With the amount of people who are in power that happen to be Jewish, I would lean more towards that than Christianity myself. But that's not, with any bias.
I mean, that's because they're so closely looped together. They sound very similar. It's about the Torah is a very aggressive, angry book, but is it the Talmud as well, which is like the after the Bible, which was like,
I know what the Talmud is.
It's basically like a fucking whole book about just like the hatred of being cast us away from God's grace. It's all it fucking is. It's hilarious.
What I'm saying is that it's about individuals who, under Sharia law, primarily women, men have no constraints under Sharia law except that they cannot be drunk. They can't drink alcohol. Other than that, the primary constraint is on women, right? And then you've got a government just like in Iraq and Afghanistan, and this is pre-Taliban being taken over anyway. In the time of Saddam Hussein, I used to work with a dude. He was in his 60s when I worked with him, but he grew up in Saddam's Iraq, and he told me a lot about it. A first-hand experience. And it involved a lot of the same things that happened when the Taliban took over, like, it's not genocidal level because just they don't have the population to support a genocide, but mass amounts of women were being shot and killed over the fact that they used to have a freedom. Now they don't. They're still exercising that old right, and they're being punished for it. That, I believe, is why, if any reason at all, is the most prevalent. In my opinion, I think if you take money out of the equation, it had to have been a situation not of one religion versus another.
Come on, you think America's righteous enough to be like that? Of course not. It was over oil and nothing else.
I'm not saying they're righteous. I'm just saying that historically that has been the reason.
That's been their
Vietnam. That was the reason for World War II.
Vietnam was actually a Red Scare issue, and people were scared of communism. And
yeah, you know why? Because 20 million people starved under communism. That's just in China. That's just in China. Under Mao Zedong, 20 million people starved to death.
And now China is still communist and somehow keeps growing as a world power and still maintains that power, and also is becoming one of the wealthiest countries in the world as well. And they also have infrastructure that supports their citizens. The problem is
infrastructure that supports their citizens.
Oh yes, they fucking do. Dude, have you not seen their
pieces, man?
Okay, where's your proof on the buildings are falling to pieces? Like, what's the proof on that?
Have you ever seen like any Chinese people on like Twitter back when Twitter was a thing before it got bought out and changed to X? It's full. Like, look up. You know what tofu dreg is?
Do I know what is?
It's called tofu dreg. The second word is spelled DREG. If you look it up on Google, it is the slang term by Chinese citizens given to buildings and infrastructure built by the Chinese government, the CCP, because of how shitty they are and how they never hold up for more than a year. And these are lived-in buildings where people are living and dying because of these buildings going to shit. The infrastructure is not there. They're faking it, just like North Korea, dude.
I would be more willing to believe it when I see it, because every single time I look at like just about anything that like I look at what developments each country is doing, what developments because I'm looking at moving out of the US because the US is not the best country in the world per se. Like we have certain things that are better than others for sure, but there are some things we do horribly. And those things are the things I care more about. So I'm looking at other countries around. I'm not saying I'd move to China. They definitely have their problems. I mean, we could just talk about just freedom of speech alone, and that's a reason for me to never go there. But like the when I look at their infrastructure and I look at what kinds of things they're doing and what kinds of things that they're capable of, right? Like for example, internet, right? Their government owns most of the internet companies because it is considered more of like a human right at this point, right? And in America, they're not, which is fine, right? You can choose to pay for X, Y, and Z company. Now, here's the problem: monopolies appear and form in America all the time because of these internet providers. And you live in the Midwest, you should know all about Huawei. And now Wow got bought out by Comcast, so everybody and their mom has Comcast at this point, right? So as far as like that goes, like their government provides those things, and yeah, it may not be the best internet in the world, but so like most of our internet also fucking sucks. So it's like it doesn't matter.
There's the problem.
And theirs is like $20 a month versus ours, which is $100. You know, like.
Well, the problem with their internet is glaring. I think glaring everybody right in the face, and it's the censorship.
I mean, yeah, they have censorship like a motherfucker, but we're getting to that point too. I mean, dude, you can't even fucking say a goddamn thing on the internet without it coming back and causing problems. I mean, in Europe, like in the UK, they're now starting to arrest people and censorship.
It's terrible. They're arresting people over shit on Twitter.
And you know what's funny is we are pushing to that level right now. They're already starting to do that. You just don't notice it because they're minorities that are getting arrested for it. There are ICE agents and people like that are showing up to people's houses because of things that they say online to then try and push to deport these people. And some of these people are U.S. citizens, and some of these people are people that were arrested, and then Trump tried to push that bill through.
A U.S. citizen can't be deported.
You're right. They can't be, but they can try. They can still arrest you and hold you in a cell for days and days and days on end without any repercussion. I mean, they were holding
days and days.
They were holding people that are American citizens for weeks just because they would refuse to even look at a fucking ID. Like, dude,
I don't think that's not. There's no way, dude. That's way not legal.
Yeah, well, you know what?
Occur on any scale.
Yes, dude. It can. Yes, it can, because it's federal. Because it's his own private military. The ICE agents and ICE as a whole is government, and they supersede state. They can bypass state. If a state tells ICE to leave, ICE doesn't have to. They can just stay anyway because they're federal. They're federal agents. The state cannot force the government out of their own state. The state can request, and the state can protect things that the state owns, like the state houses, but like ICE can still be on any other property. Like the only thing that the states have control over. But what I'm saying
isn't accurate.
But what I'm saying is but what I'm getting at is ICE operates outside of the reasonable norms. They operate outside of the local municipalities. Therefore, they can do whatever the fuck they want. Things like your Miranda rights and things like that, they're not cops. They don't have to follow those rules. So they can show up, masked up, not badged, not an identifiable vehicle, come and arrest you and take you away because they feel like it. Now, with that being said, I'm not melanated, I'm white. They will look at me and not even think about trying to do it because they won't get away with it because I'm white. And since I'm white, I would be able to go to the press and have a huge hissy fit about it. But if I was melanated of any kind and I remotely looked Hispanic or Middle Eastern or even in some cases black, I mean, you gotta think, dude, they fucking arrested a nun. She belongs to the church. Like, bro, what are you like? They're not. they
was
literally.
She born here? Was she a citizen?
She was a citizen. She was part of the church, and she was arrested.
A citizen to be a nun.
She was a U.S. citizen. She was here as part of the church, and she had sponsored citizenship, and she was a nun, and that is why she was here. And then ICE arrested her, kept her.
Is not citizenship, though. That's different. Then you had not been naturalized. That's different.
Let me find out if she was naturalized, because she was pretty old, so she might have been naturalized by then. Let me double check on that because I haven't checked if she was naturalized. But even then, she was released back out. She wasn't deported. She couldn't be because she was here legally. She followed the rules. She went through the pipeline. But a fucking nun, bro. If anybody should be pissed, you should be. If you're Christian as much as you are, like you should respect the nunnery and the nuns the most. Like they're
No,
fucking.
Dude, no, it's not about the thing. Like, listen, man. For me, it's not about getting riled up. The primary thing that I focus on in my life, dude, is you can't die on every hill. Like there has to be, like, you cannot. And this isn't me being disrespectful, but in my opinion, anybody who's got time to be an advocate for anything, or for not anything, I misspoke. If anybody has time to be an advocate for everything or most things, then it means that they probably need to be doing more in their own lives, and they could be getting further in their own development.
Oh,
Not just, in any particular regard, but I mean, like, like it's it's just like, why, like, somebody, you can't chronically give a shit. It's terrible for you.
See, the problem
It's
is
terrible
this
for your
is my
mental health.
country. This is my country, and this is a country that I had my own family members die for, and they're very and I'm sure they'd be rolling in their graves right now over this shit. They died in. I had family members who got sent to Vietnam, and it was a fucking nightmare. My fucking uncle's dead because of the Agent Orange that our own military fucking gave him. Right? Like, and they died for what? For this country that is collapsing and not on freedom anymore. Like, what are we doing? Like, yes, America will never collapse to zero. It will never happen at this point. We have ingrained ourselves too much. But as America as we know it is collapsing, and it's going to change to a very dark, negative place for a while. And it's probably going to happen in our lifetime if you're in your 20s as well. You're going to see it too. You should absolutely care. You should absolutely be paying attention, because this is the things that your vote goes to. This is why you should vote in local. You should vote in state. You should vote in all of your local elections. Federal, it's all fucking. We all talked about who owns the 1%. Let's be honest. Like, you can't control that, but you can at least work on the people who are local to you, and those people affect you the most, right? Like, my state is extremely red. And the corporate greed and the corruption is starting to really show in Ohio right now. It is getting really bad, especially with people like Lex Wexner, who obviously, guess who was in the Epstein files and all over that shit? That guy, right? He was damn near fucking right-hand man to him. But like, people like that are from where I live, and he owns Easton Mall. He damn near owns most of New Albany's land. He owns a lot of this shit because he was allowed to pay our local government, get them in, and guess who they were? They're all fucking Republicans, unfortunately. The last good Republican we had was John Kasich. Kasich was great, and Kasich was the last fucking Republicans with a backbone that we've had in Columbus. It's actually funny. Like, I literally, like, I wanted Kasich over Trump when he ran against Trump to begin with, because he was, a good Midwestern, smart guy who didn't fall for the MAGA bullshit. He was one of the last good ones. Like, we're starting to get Republicans growing spines now, but it's too late. The damage is already done. And that's the problem that I see and I have, and that's why I'm so, like, I guess, loud and as much of an advocate about it, is because, like, we should be paying attention to these things. This is what affects our future. This is my children. This is your children. This is our wives, our future grandchildren. This is everything. This matters. This is something that everybody should pay attention to. The idea of, well, it's too much. It's too stressful. I don't like it. I don't want to deal with it, etc. That is how Nazism, that's how all that shit started, is people just didn't care. Like, it doesn't affect me. I don't care. Whatever. Like, you should absolutely care. No, but you just said, inadvertently, you said that with what you just said. You just said if somebody can care about all these things, then they should be doing something else and furthering their life. Well, I have furthered my life. I work a very good job, and I make great money, and I'm very young, and I'm very passionate about my country. And that is why I'm so passionate about these things. Like, I don't know.
You misunderstood what I said. When I said, I did say verbatim what you said, but what I meant by that was not to be taken in a literal sense of, if you have time to worry about X, Y, and Z, then that you can't, and it's not good for you. What I'm saying is I think you're misunderstanding or getting mixed up. When I say, worry, I mean stress about things. It's not a problem to be informed. You're right. You should be informed. You should keep up with it. Think about it. Take, 5-10 minutes or whatever, after ingesting the information, and form a rational conclusion based on your own beliefs and whatnot that you can, use going forward. Yeah, that's important. The part that's bad for you is where you sit there and you dwell on it and you let it get you so worked up. Because yes, while your vote matters, and while it's important to vote, and is a good idea to, to be an advocate for what you believe in, it's also just as important, if not more, to not let those things eat you up. They can't consume you. That's the unhealthy part. And what I'm not saying that fucking, you have to, that you can't advocate for things. And I'm not saying I don't care. What I'm saying is I do care, but you have to keep your ducks in a row as a, and this transcends America. It transcends, the first world country, second, third, doesn't matter, dude. It is a universal thing that no matter who you are, what language you speak, what culture you're from, you have to make sure that you're prioritizing the things that are most important to you and your survival and your family's survival and whatnot. And yes, it's important, but it's fairly low on the list for me, is what I was saying. And the reason that is because I have so many other things that are always falling apart. It's a nature of my life. It's a nature of my medical conditions.
So here's the thing.
Is.
So you're saying you have medical conditions. Great. Okay. Right. So you have to deal with that. I understand that. I have a lot of people around me who, like, my brother is going to pass away by 40, right? Because he's got progressive MS and they have given him about a lifespan till that. My mother's got celiacs, MS, all that shit. Like, I understand because I'm coming from that. I can't necessarily speak to that I have those problems, but I get it. I get what you're saying. But wouldn't having those things and understanding the pain that those things give you, would that not make you want to feel more likely to speak out on the cost of those things? Like, I'm sure it's an arm and a leg. I know it is for my brother. His transfusions are insane. Like, he'll never get out of medical debt for that ever in his life. I mean, there's just no way.
It's just, it's about, you have to, it depends on where you're at. And one second, I have to clear my throat. Okay. What I'm saying is that it depends on where you're at, for one, on the financial and economic ladder. I was about 18 when I was 17 or 16 when I started developing symptoms of my first illness. But it wasn't until I was about 18 where I started to get involved in treatment and trying to, pinpoint what it was I was dealing with here. And at that point in time, I was making $35 an hour when I was 18, but then I moved to Tennessee and that changed a lot because, of course, I couldn't keep my job in Indiana in Tennessee. So I had been fairly on the lower end of the economic totem pole, probably about $40K a year, which, and it also depends a lot on the state because, every state has different social welfare programs. The only people who can get on the federal social welfare programs are orphans and Native Americans, and they have to be in a qualifying tribe. That applied for, when the government did like the Native American Act, or I can't remember what the act was that they gave back to the Native Americans, gave them reservations and casinos and all that shit. I can't remember what some president put out an act, right? And then any tribe that qualified and could articulate that they were affected by the United States' occupation of their territory was entitled to reparations and compensation, over a period. And some Native American tribes their chiefs did not go and apply for that or fill out the document. I don't know exactly what it was that, they had to do in order to, I don't think it was much, though. Because there's a lot of them in Michigan, and I go to Michigan quite frequently. But what I'm saying is like with the medicine, yeah, it's expensive. I bill insurance about $30,000 a month, but I also have 8 doctors. that I see, usually on a weekly basis, if not, bi-weekly or monthly at the very longest interval between appointments. And I take 13 different medications a day, and then I also get an injection once a week. So it's like, yeah, it's expensive. But the thing is I'm when it comes down to medication, the reason I'm not so loud and proud about, oh, we need universal health care, or oh, we need, this should be free, I should have to pay for this, like this is an advancement of society that I should be able to reap the rewards of for being alive during this time and paying my taxes. Do I think that would be great? Yeah, that would be cool. But I also understand that having a privatized or a semi-privatized healthcare system has many advantages that people don't really think of, and it doesn't come at you at first or second thought. But if there weren't such thing as a patent for medication, there would be little to no innovation. Look at countries like, China or Russia, or, even countries where they, like European countries, if you were to compare those countries to the United States, and then, and look at them in terms of pharmaceutical and medical developments, you would see that the United States puts out way more new drugs. They put out way more new vaccines. They put out way more new medical practices and treatment options. And the reason for that is because the patents and the ability to make money off of that findings have given people a purpose. It's
wouldn't you think that, I mean, this is maybe speaking a little bit on the edge of conspiracy here, but wouldn't you think that if we had the ability to, like, cure cancer, for example, wouldn't you think that we would have already, like, put that out by now? But, like, because there's money involved, now we're holding it back on purpose. Like, wouldn't you think that in a lot of ways, we're holding ourselves back more than we're actually advancing, because we're glorifying this system that is very, very much broken, in my opinion. I don't
think anybody's glorifying it. I mean, everybody I've ever talked to has an issue with it, including myself to some degree. But I'm also able to recognize that.
So we shouldn't.
I was just gonna.
I mean, where I'm getting to though is we shouldn't have a privatized healthcare system. We should have a double standard. So you have a government version, right? And we have a private version. If you want the private version with all your private benefits, by all means, go do it, right? But if you want a basic necessity, like for example, let's say tomorrow I get in a horrible motorcycle accident and the person that hit me didn't have insurance. Therefore, I'm on the hook for that. Now, I was not conscious, so I could not have been like, no, don't do that. Hey, don't do that. EMTs sign a basically whole bill or whatever where they are there to save your life by any means necessary, unless you have like a DNR.
A DNR.
Which would be your only, I guess, protection. But at that point, though, even then, they still fuck up and miss those, right? Like, sometimes it's just not there in the system or whatever, right? So even then, let's say that you... and the fact that we even have to think about having a DNR because the medical bills will be too dramatic is insane. That should never be a thought in anybody's head. But...
It shouldn't be, and it doesn't have to be. Even with the current system, it doesn't have to be.
It does, because
People
who's...
Who's
gonna pay...
Who's in the hospital?
But who's gonna pay these medical bills then? When I get in that horrible motorcycle accident and I break both my arms, break my neck, crush a few ribs, all that, and I survive by the amazing medicine that we have. And then the hospital turns around and tells me, hey, that'll be $1 million. And it's like, well, I don't have it. And it's like, well, looks like your income's gonna be subsidized for the rest of your life until you can pay that off. That is not a way any human. That is how it is. Like that, I literally had my medical debt go to debt collections, and they hounded me over that shit. It was not that much money either. It was just bad enough that I was homeless at the time and I didn't have the fucking money. But I eventually like got around to paying it off. But like, I should not have ever had to have done that.
You didn't.
I did, because Biden hadn't signed that bill yet. Because
no, I'm not referring to a Biden bill.
But there was a bill that Biden passed during his office term, which basically meant that medical debt could not affect your credit scores. But those medical debts affected your credit scores. There was no way. Like I tried. There was no. I technically on paper made too much money for any kind of relief, and that was really stupid because I made like 30K a year, if that. And that's like, okay, 30K. That's like your rent, and that's it. You know what I mean? Like that's nothing.
Brother, let me inform you of something. If you, and this is similar to what you were saying just a second ago, you know, your hypothesis on a working healthcare system where, you know, insurance is privatized and still an option, but, you know, not forced upon you, right?
It should not be.
It kind of already is like that. And
It's
let me
not.
explain. Let me explain. The reason it is like that is because when I lived in Tennessee, right, I fell very ill. I got diagnosed with my second medical condition. I was on, and I have a brain disease. It's an incurable brain disease, and I dropped 60 pounds in 2 months. I was dying. They didn't know what was wrong with me. I was taking 26 different medications a day. That's not 26 pills. That's 26 different drugs, up to 3 times a day per drug. And these are the max doses of these medications. I was on some hard ass shit. And I almost died in the hospital. You know what that bill was? $60,000 for 2 days in the hospital. Crazy, right? It should never have been that. That's ridiculous. I can agree. But what did I do? I educated myself. When I went to the hospital beforehand, I went to, and this is kind of irrelevant what I'm about to say, because EMTs, when they get called to the scene of an accident, their first, second, and third option in terms of a hospital, if hospital treatment is necessary, their first, second, and third options are all going to be public hospitals, not private hospitals. They're going to be publicly owned and operating hospitals unless you are in such critical condition that the only way to save you is to take you to this very, it would be a niche. It's a very outside the realm of what is, I would say, 90% of situations, right? The reason that's important is because every year, any hospital that calls themselves a public hospital has access to a indescript amount of money from the government to pay for people's bills. All you have to do, the caveat is you have to reach out to that hospital, call their itinerary department, get the financial aid paperwork, and it's different from typical financial aid paperwork. It is different. It's its own thing. I've done it. And you have to very specifically ask for these documents. You fill them out, and it's very, very straightforward. It was one page front and back. And it didn't ask for my social. It didn't ask for anything. It was photocopied a billion times because it was that plain. Is the point I'm trying to get across. They wrote off. I made $40K a year, and they wrote off that $60,000 in medical debt. And they wrote off the $1,500. I didn't pay a dime, and I didn't have government insurance. I didn't have any of those things. I was on 0 social welfare programs. The only thing I had was the insurance through Aetna that I had when I worked at Walmart managing the TLE department. I worked there full time and made about $40K a year. I was well over the FPL, or, you know, federal poverty line. Therefore, I was ineligible for any type of state social welfare program, and I'm not an orphan or a Native American, so I can't get federal Medicaid.
But you can get Medicaid as an old person too. And my grandma's got it.
No, you can get Medicare. You can get Medicaid through the state, but you can't get it through. There's no way to get federal Medicaid unless you are one of those two groups. I tried. I called Social Security and tried.
Which is really funny because that's one of the things that a lot of the like more extreme right wing people argue, is that all these immigrants get a hold of this shit, and it's like you. No, nobody can.
They do, though. They do, and I have firsthand experience with that as well.
There's absolutely zero way.
No, there is. The issue is, I can't tell you exactly how it's done or through what avenue it takes place. I guess is the better way of saying what I'm about to say. But for example, right, when I lived in Nashville, and just after the surgery, right? So this is it's great that this had gotten brought up because this happened just after I was hospitalized. They gave me a lengthy recovery window. It was about 2 to 3 months. I had to gain. When I got out of the hospital, I was 5'11" and I weighed 105 pounds. I had to go through intense, different procedures. They call it intensive outpatient, where I have to, it's like a super dense amount of appointments multiple times a week with the same provider for all 8 of my doctors. And we were basically reorganizing my entire med regimen and cutting a bunch of chaff out of the regimen. And during that time, I couldn't work nearly as much as I was before. I was still working, just not very much. It was very part time. It was maybe about 14 hours a week I could work. And what I'm saying is during that time, I applied for SNAP EBT through the state of Tennessee. They approved me. And it was the way that Tennessee works, just like most states, is it's not, you're the only thing that changes the amount that you're given is how many dependents that you have. So somebody, if you're a 5-person household and you're approved for EBT, you're going to get this much. If it's just me and somebody else, then we're getting this much. It doesn't change person to person, that dollar amount. It's like a step system. And for the amount, you know what they approved me for?
I think you remember you telling.
$23.
I say you said like $20 or something before.
Yeah, and I called and I asked the tenant. I called the Department of the Tennessee Department of Family Services or something, the government program. I called them and I said, "Hey, why am I only getting $23 a month? Like, don't you think that's a little like insulting and maybe a little ridiculous?" And they informed me that the reason that I was given such a low monetary amount was not an assessment of my need. It was because there was so many people, like the state sets aside a certain percentage of the budget, of all state revenue to go towards that program, the SNAP EBT program, and then it's simply divided amongst the number of members of that program.
And you do realize that Tennessee is like one of the poorest like states in the U.S. They rank like damn near dead last in almost every single metric when it comes to like wealth inequality.
I understand, but what I'm saying is like the point of my long-winded saying here is that during the I held that EBT for I want to say it was like 5 or 6 months, because after that I had heart surgery. After I recovered from my hospital stay, I had to have heart surgery. So I did that, and in the 3 months, this was still while Biden was in office, to give you a time frame. During the 3 months, my monetary amount hadn't changed. It had been reassessed 3 times, but was kept the same. I mean, or at least within like $5. You know what I mean? Like, 5 up, 5 down type shit.
I mean, that sounds like your local government. That's not even a Fed thing.
No, it's not a federal thing. It's state. That's what I'm saying. But my point is that the reason it ties into federal is because in the 3 months I had it through Biden, like through Biden's administration, making the rules on bigger fish, you know what I mean, like immigration and taxes and stuff like that. During his administration and regime, if you will, that dollar amount didn't change. But Trump took office, and this isn't me glazing Trump or dick riding anybody, but when Trump took office, I couldn't help but notice that within a month of him being in office and him deporting a lot of illegal citizens out of the country, my benefit amount went from $23 a month to like $360 a month.
See, there's no way that he would have deported that many people in Tennessee alone to change the
Tennessee's
benefit
a very
that
right-wing
much.
state. They're most certainly going to back a Republican president.
No. I'm just saying.
Out his
I'm just saying there's literally physically zero way that would have ever to go from $20 to $300, you know how many people would have to like disappear off of a system for that to happen? I
don't
mean,
I don't know.
mathematically, that makes no
It's not
sense if it was just deportation.
but
There's no way. It would have
but
to be
it's not
something
just
else.
like I said, it's not just the number of people per se. It's also the size of the household. You know what I mean? If say only one person gets deported, their children are citizens, they can't leave their children in the United States, even though their children were born here and are citizens. So the children go with, and therefore are off of the program, freeing up another X amount of dollars, even though they technically are not the ones being deported. So you're right. It didn't just all make up deportations that made up that difference. I'm saying it was a large amount of people leaving the country. Not all of them happened to be deported.
Would this have changed like in September of last year, or was this like 2 years ago? When was this at? Because I'm looking up like the laws on it.
It was when Biden left office, Trump took office for his second term. I don't know exactly what year or month it was, but that you should be able to find it with that information.
So this is a publication on May of
I wanna say
2024.
January of whatever year, because that's when inauguration is, right? January?
I mean, you tell me
Or
when
am I
you got your
wrong?
benefits, because the inauguration is,
I can't remember when inauguration was.
if I'm not mistaken, it's typically like February.
January the 20th.
January. It was really close to February. It just felt like February for some reason. It was cold as shit here, dude. It was like -5 when that happened. It was insane. All right. Yep. So they were elected on November 6th, and then certified by Congress January 6th, which obviously that was a whole fucking thing. That was stupid. He should have never pardoned those people. That's so insane. That would be like, I mean, that would just be ridiculous. That would be like if I turn around and pardoned like anybody who had been arrested for like fucking, like
It's a
attacking police or
presidential
something.
freedom, I guess. It is what it is, I suppose.
Well, and then he made like a
one way or
fucking,
another.
and then he made like a multi-billion-dollar fucking fund, which wound up not really going to any of those people, but going mostly to the rich people that he pardoned. It's fucking bullshit.
Miles,
Let's see.
Yeah, what?
are you good if I hop on Tarkov, man? Are you in an okay spot? I don't know if you're still playing or not.
Yeah,
was
I've been
locked in.
playing. I've just been chilling.
Is it okay if I go play some Tarkov? Is that all right?
Yeah, hold on, let me
Financial
get back to
eligibility
base.
requirements. All right.
It should be
So
a certain percentage over the FPL.
non-exempt resources, aid groups, liquid, non-liquid, may not exceed $1,000. Resources in excess of limit results in ineligibility. A person receiving SSI benefits cannot be included in AFDC aid groups. SSI recipients' income and resources include the SSI payments are disregarded in determining eligibility. So, I mean, I'm just reading
that was
through
bullshit. That was another thing I had to deal with, because SSI, if you don't know what SSI versus disability is, SSI is basically federal welfare. You have to be extremely low on the income bracket, if any income at all. Like nowadays, it's basically you have to be under the federal poverty line, which I think is $22,000 a year, or maybe like
it's less than
$18,000
that.
a year.
Yeah, it's I think it's like 17,000 and some change or something crazy. The you have to be like less than that. I've looked into it. It's insane.
But that's how you receive SSI benefits, which is why they're not. Which is it's bullshit that they can get welfare and EBT, and their welfare isn't taken into consideration. But my disability payments that are supposed to substitute my ability to work full time and replace that missing income are counted as income. That's bullshit. That pissed me off a lot. But go on.
So I'm reading through this now. So the way that you could have gotten screwed would have been depended. So when you had your heart surgery, you had basically been reporting no income, right? Which
Yeah.
would have been, which would have meant that you would not have you would have fallen well below the poverty line, which means you would have gotten more aid. But there is a scale.
No, I did have income. That's what I was saying. I did have income. I was making 14 or no, at that time my benefit was a little less. So like probably 11 to 1200 a month is what I was getting. And that's my, like I said, my disability, because once I got out of the hospital pre-heart surgery but post-hospital, I got approved for federal disability because of my brain disease.
So your benefits should not exceed $2,000 for all of their food stamp households. If you are a food stamp household with at least one member who is 60 or older, then your max would be 3,000. And that is also though stating that if you're receiving SSI benefits, a person receiving SSI benefits cannot be included in the AFDC aid group. The SSI recipient's income and resources, including the SSI payment, are disregarded in determining eligibility for other AFDC. So they changed it at the beginning of the year, in May. They made a change where they basically said SSI won't count against you anymore. And that's probably why you got more money. Because you would have been getting SSI, right?
We said what? No, SSDI is disability. It's different. SSI does not count. SSDI has always counted. And that's what I'm bitching about. That's what I'm saying is bullshit.
How much so did your SSDI change and then your
No,
food stamps
there
change?
is no change. No, there is no change in the only change that occurs in the SSDI is a inflation increase, and that's usually like 0.3% every year. It's very minimal.
Because right now, based on what I'm reading, I'm not seeing anything about percentages and splits and things like that so far. I'm looking through the financial eligibility requirements as a whole in general, and it seems pretty fucking difficult even to get a hold of this stuff to begin with.
Yeah, it wasn't easy, which is why I said it was. And I when I lived in Tennessee, I was I was affiliated with a lot of people who had came from like Kenya and Sudan, like they escaped the Sudanese civil war, and I worked with this dude named Peter, right? Peter was from Sudan, and what he said he did, and he was very open with this information. He said that he worked, and he like the apartment and like the rent and everything was in his name, and then he basically was subletting that apartment to his mom on paper and his parents and siblings and whatnot. So they had no income, they didn't work, but they received welfare, they received food stamps, and they received another benefit, Medicaid. There you go. That's what it was.
The only way to
Peter
get
was the
those
only one who-
things, the only way to get those things is if you came here legally. Though you have to have,
No, I'm not saying they got deported. They were here legally.
But that's what I'm talking
just
about.
saying
You just
they
said
were, like,
people
living
got
in the system.
you were talking about how people got deported and all of a sudden your benefits went up. Well, that's just not a true statement at all. It's literally physically impossible for illegal people to get a hold of those benefits unless they
It's
are
not. No, it's
stealing
not.
social security numbers. And at that point, that's a whole different
There's
problem.
there's many legal avenues. It's called asylum. It's baked into every state's most every state.
But Mexicans don't have asylum. Like Mexico and Mexicans don't have asylum, and that's where a lot of his deportation is targeted, is towards Mexican people. So there's no way, like the amount of people that could have been deported to improve your food stamp stuff, like could have just, now don't get me wrong, what could have happened realistically would be when like Doge hit and like gutted all these federal programs and gutted all these things, the people that were in charge of monitoring those things and doing all that stuff could have gotten fired, and then someone else came in and was like, well, what the fuck, and then just changed everything. Like that could have definitely happened. But like I can't, and I'm not giving Doge a fucking bone for that either. Like I think that they did a lot of horrible, just stupid things. But like, dude, they literally fired people that like were holding our fucking, like basically damn near nuclear launch codes, like had the knowledge of these things and just straight up got rid of them. And it's like, oh well, we actually need those people for this. They're like, oh, what the fuck? And they like rush to go find these people again and like rehire them. It was a mess. I mean, Doge was a horrible thing, but I mean,
No, I'm gonna
What
head
I'm
to
so,
bed.
what? All right. Good night, Miles. Have a good
Yep.
have a good rest, man. I'll talk to you
Yeah, you
tomorrow.
too.
I know that there's asylum seeker stuff, and I know that's a thing for sure. And
What I was gonna say
and
is
in Europe is doing that too, in like the UK, they're doing that whole the UK, and also same thing in Ireland. Like Ireland is having a huge flooding of just like they're just completely destroying their own culture. Like that's like a horrible thing that's happening there. It's insane to see. But
But if ICE didn't exist, that would be where we were headed. In the same way that you were saying that, talking about Christianity in schools and whatnot, and you're, like, you know, I want to say inferring what the future is going to hold. It's the same way there too. It's a reasonable conclusion to draw to say
I don't
that
disagree. I don't
if
disagree
you
with
do,
ICE existing. Don't ever get that wrong. I trust me. I think, and this is a very unpopular opinion, especially when it's funny. I say that I'm very conservative, but I think that as far as deportations, things like that, like Obama was king of that shit, and I think he did a very good job because he
Obama was king
maintained.
of fucking drone strikes.
Dude, he was the king of a lot of things. But well, he was also handed that war. He had no choice, so he just fucking said fuck it, and blew shit up. I mean, fine, whatever. Like, but the problem is like for me, I feel like he did a relatively good job on our borders. I think that Biden flopped miserably. I mean, Kamala flopped on that
Yeah,
because I
opening
think
the
she was
borders
supposed to
is
be
fucking terrible.
like
Terrible
it
idea.
was not a good idea. I definitely agree with that, but I do not think that going like damn near door to door like the Gestapo and like hunting people down is also not the right way to do literally anything. Like that's literally like the fucking like this just sounds like and then of course now we have like these flock camera things too, which is crazy that the federal government has not said a damn thing about them yet. Like really, it's all been local municipalities for the most part that have been fighting against it, which is insane to
Well,
me.
it's down to the local municipalities to pay for it. It's a private company. Flock is. They have to.
No,
It is very
Flock is
much an
installing
ad.
these cameras without payments. They're just putting them up because they get paid out money to have that data. That's the problem. Like it's a private equity company, so therefore like the city doesn't have to pay. The cities were paying for it at first because like, oh yeah, we have these security camera systems all over our cities. This is a great idea. Like this is what we've been trying to do for a while. Because I don't know if you know, but like especially in the Midwest, for some reason, like in Ohio, we have. Dude, do not drive through Dayton like ever if you can avoid it. It is
Fucking
awful.
Somalis, dude.
Well, I don't even know about that. I'm talking about just as far as traffic cameras and cameras in general. Like fucking Dayton is awful. I would never live there. It's insane. Um, but
I got a ticket on a fucking camera like that one time passing through Louisville.
yeah, it's insane. Like that shit is
They
not.
mailed my ass a ticket, dude.
That this shouldn't be legal. Things like that shouldn't be legal. You should not. There should have to be because remember our Constitution, right? Where we're innocent till proven guilty, right? A traffic camera doesn't prove anything. All it proves is here's a picture of you and here's a an attached reading from a sensor that God knows when it was last calibrated. Good luck fighting in court. It's like, well, I wasn't speeding. Oh yeah, well, what's this picture of you? Me driving my fucking car. Like, what else am I supposed to do? Just not drive my car? Like, it should be innocent until proven guilty. Traffic cameras were made illegal constitutionally in Ohio for our Ohio Constitution because we were a state notorious for them. We used to hand out millions upon millions of dollars in small towns of no more than 5,000 people. You know what I mean? Like, we were insane with speed traps, quotas, traffic cameras, all that stuff. So we passed a law here that makes it to where if the camera evidence can be used if there is a cop present at the crime. That's what has to happen. And flock cameras are literally a huge impede of that. All they are doing is making guilty until proven innocent because they use an AI database that then takes all this data, all your driving data from your license plates, and then they turn around and any cop or anybody in any kind of department can look this information up without any actual reasoning. And it has led to cops spying on their exes, cops spying on potentially other women, cops illegally trying to gain data on people to try and incriminate them. Like there are, and you can look these up. There are many, many cases that have happened, and that's why a lot of municipalities are fighting back against these flock cameras. Now, here's the thing: once a municipality says no flock cameras anymore, guess what Flock does? It's a private equity company. So now it's going to go to private businesses and put the cameras up on their property anyway. And now the government can't do anything. So now Flock still exists, and they're still able to sell this data, and they're still able to make this database, and they're still able to push this thing, and it is completely unconstitutional and illegal. It should never exist. Our federal, like, if Trump wants a major W and to feel like the king of all people and actually bring America together on one fucking issue instead of dividing us all the time, that should be the issue right there. Flock. That should be the number one issue that he's like, yep, I'm going to make this illegal. Democrats would vote for him, Republicans would vote for him, fucking everybody would vote for him, because that's like the biggest thing that people hate right now, other than ICE and data centers in general, which I work in data centers, so I already have to deal with that. But like Flock is insane. I've looked a lot into it because I've just been very curious, like, because you were talking about, oh, China with all their like spying and like you can't say shit, can't do shit, all that, right? Like that's what China has. China has Flock.
Yeah.
like that's literally step one to censorship is cameras fucking everywhere. That's literally what China did. And of course, like, of course they're trying to make it to where you can't speak bad on Jewish people, or like not Jewish people, but like Israel as a whole. Like you shouldn't speak bad on Jewish people. They're just following their faith, doing their thing. Now, Israel as a country can be criticized, and that should be allowed. But there have been things like little pieces of laws and rules that have been passed even on state sides that have been like, hey, if you're a business, you know, businesses have free speech according to like the super PAC stuff that was passed back in Bush era, right? So if you're a business and you decide that you want to speak out against Israel for whatever reason, then you will not gain any kind, you will lose any kind of funding or anything that you could have potentially had from the government, any kind of tax breaks, any of that. They will strip all that from you, and they will also then turn around and basically, I mean, obviously your business will just get fucking mutilated because they're going to oppose that. Because quote unquote, they are like, they're basically like now a subsidiary. Dude, fucking Israeli people like are getting our fucking healthcare and shit. Like, why are we paying for that? Why are we doing that? I thought it was supposed to be America first.
Ukrainian people are dipping into Social Security. Did you know that?
Yeah, I'm well aware because they have asylum.
There's still
they have asylum.
Still
That's
Ukrainian. No, there's people living in Ukraine receiving Medicaid, receiving disability payments, and they're receiving Social Security.
And it's not right. I agree. I think that in Ukraine, the only thing that we should have, and the only thing that we should be giving them is obviously like I personally believe that Ukraine should be part of the EU, and I think Ukraine is a great country to have to build our basically border against Russia, right? Russia's our biggest threat to any of our like Western culture, right? Because that's what it's called like over in Europe, right? It's like the Western culture versus like Russian Eastern culture, right? And Ukraine was separated.
I gotta cut you off. I'm sorry, I'm bleeding. 1 second. I gotta go take care of this.
Okay.
I got a cut on my face.
It happens. I don't know if Unknown or Mr. Dumpside are still here, but this is the shit that like I spend way too much time looking into and understanding. And it kills me. It kills me sometimes. Oh, that's understandable, YX. I mean, I already feel like I know exactly what you were gonna say, and you were probably gonna add nothing but rage bait to the conversation. Because I want to have an actual conversation about it, because these are all legitimate problems that we have. And some things, like, my more red side shows in some instances, but my more personal care for my country and world comes out on the other side, and so it's rather interesting. Where the fuck am I? Oh, yeah, I mean, technically they do, but that's like a whole thing. Oh, that's where I'm at. I was like, where the fuck am I? Oh, you can't open a store. What's in here? Not shit. I don't know, I'm very, like, I don't want to say, like, patriotic. Like, I am patriotic. I mean, the most patriotic thing, in my opinion, is criticize your government. But I'm just very adamant and, active about a lot of this kind of shit. God damn, dude, what is happening? Who the hell is shooting it up over there?
He's up on the bridge, bro.
Up on the bridge?
Yeah, yeah.
Is he, like, up in the rafters, like... Yo, are you alive? Where is he? Going for 3? K3?
K3.
Alright.
Days, bro.
Is he in here? He's probably extracted, dog. Hey, he's extracted. He ain't here. Damn. What a rat, dude. Oh my god, I keep lagging. I keep, like, stuttering on this map. What the fuck? Somebody already looted it. I don't remember. Oh, this is the big boy. Yeah, I'll keep that A70. Fuck it. Dude, this lag is pissing me off. I keep running into a lot of it tonight. Oh, damn, that sucks. Gilla got stripped, bro. Damn. Never seen 110. Oh, dude, that poster's sick. Oh, somebody looted this already. Well, had hoses though. Oh, that's sick. Alright. Whiskey. Oof. Oh, SP6s. Don't mind if I do. Forgot about that.
Заебись, удачно зашли.
Okay, I'm back. Are you on Tarkov?
Yeah. Real life
Just
Ukraine?
click it on.
Absolutely. I call this game Ukraine Simulator.
I call this game jerking off face down in my mattress.
Honestly, that is valid.
Yeah, dude, you have to arch your back and like put your butt up in the air, and then hope that that plant from Family Guy, the poison ivy plant, doesn't come and get your ass and make your ass itch.
Sounds like
Because
you have
know
a lot
what
of
happens
experience.
If you go to bed with an itchy ass, you're gonna wake up with a smelly finger. Okay, chat?
Go to bed with an itchy ass, wake up with a smelly finger.
Yeah, dude. And my dick ain't 12 inches, dude. I'm not gonna lie to you, but it sure does smell like a foot, and that's what matters.
Oh my god, bro, what the fuck?